The midday sun beat down on a village, turning the dusty road into a shimmering mirage. Arjun, a young man with worry etched into his forehead, slogged towards the ancient monastery perched on a distant hill. Unhappiness had become his constant companion, a nagging voice that wouldn't be silenced. He'd heard whispers about a wise old monk who lived there and decided to try his luck. The climb was arduous, but finally Arjun reached the monastery gates. A wizened old man with a twinkle in his eye sat beneath a gnarled banyan tree. This must be the monk, Arjun thought. He bowed respectfully. "Peace be with you, child," the monk rumbled, his voice like gravel on a washboard. "What troubles your soul?" Arjun hesitated. I'm unhappy," he mumbled, kicking at a pebble. The monk chuckled, a sound like wind chimes dancing in a breeze. "Unhappy, eh? That's a common complaint these days. More common than bad knees, and that's saying something." Arjun cracked a smile. The monk wasn't what he expected. He seemed more like a funny uncle than a holy man. "Tell me, son," the monk continued, stroking his beard, "what does this unhappiness look like? Is it a grumpy rain cloud that follows you everywhere?" Arjun contemplated for a moment. "It's more like a deflated balloon," he said. "All the joy seems to have seeped out." The monk nodded sagely. "Ah, I see. The dreaded balloon blues. But fear not, young grasshopper, for there's a cure." He ushered Arjun inside the cool confines of the monastery. The place smelled of incense and old books. The monk made Arjun sit on a surprisingly comfortable cushion and offered him a steaming cup of something herbal. "This concoction," the monk announced with a wink, "is the elixir of happiness. One sip and your woes will vanish." Arjun took a tentative sip. It tasted vaguely of lemongrass and disappointment. "Well," the monk prompted, eyebrows raised. Arjun grimaced. This isn't exactly making me happy." The monk burst into laughter, a sound so infectious that Arjun couldn't help but join in. The tension that had coiled in his shoulders began to unravel. "There you go," the monk exclaimed, wiping a tear from his eye. "Laughter, my friend, is the true elixir of happiness. Not some fancy tea, although that was fun, wasn't it?" Arjun chuckled. He realized that focusing on his unhappiness had made it seem bigger than it was. Spending time with the old monk, even if the tea wasn't magical, had shifted his perspective. "Sometimes," the monk said gently, "happiness isn't a constant state. It's like the weather. There will be sunny days and stormy ones, but just like the sun always reappears after the rain, so too will your happiness." Arjun left the monastery that day feeling lighter. He'd learned that happiness wasn't something to be chased, but a state of being that arose from within. And maybe, just maybe, a little laughter along the way wouldn't hurt.